and welcome to another episode of Rascal's Chick Chat for Muscular Development. I've got an incredible guest this week. I'm so excited to speak to her. It is Dani Reardon. Hey Dani, how are you?
What's up? Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Really well, thank you. You look absolutely amazing. I love your hair.
Thanks.
How long have you had it like that for now?
Not very long. Like since my birthday.
Yeah.
Since July, so like a month and a half.
It looks really cute. It really suits you.
Thank you. I feel like I've always had them. It's so crazy. Like when I touch it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's my hair. But
yeah.
So
is it all yours, or is there like extensions weaved into it then?
Yeah, there's actually extensions weaved in. I was like super on the fence with it because I was like, I really want to do like the natural dread journey and, just like grow them out forever and ever. But like they would be like little nubs. And so to be in a professional setting, I don't know. I just really wanted to be able to like do stuff with them right away and like them right away.
Yeah.
So,
because then you can like tie them up and get them out the way and stuff.
Yes, they're super awesome. But eventually the goal is to like have just my hair in there.
Yeah. Amazing. It looks so cute. So I'll give a little bit of an introduction. I'm sure everybody's going to know who you are, but just in case we've got any new listeners. So Dani is IFBB Pro. Did you start off in figure?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. But I think maybe most people will know you from the women's physique. And Dani was at the Olympia 3 times as women's physique. 4th place. Then the big year, the same year that I was there, it was the 2nd place to Juliana Malacan. And I think you were like one of the ones that everybody was talking about. It was like this hype was really building around you. You're still so young as well, aren't you? Like how old were you then in 2016 when you were like getting 2nd place at the O?
26.
Yeah, so it's quite young, I think, to be taking all of that in. And then Dani came back the following year and got 6th place. So I don't know how that must have felt like with all the hype and everyone sort of expecting you maybe to up and take 1st. What was that like, that kind of coming back that following year?
I didn't realize how heartbreaking it was, I think, until like now.
Yeah.
And I wanted to just act like it was like kind of okay. But I really think I was heartbroken in 2016. And then
when you got 2nd.
Yeah. And that was I don't know, I didn't even realize how heartbroken I was until probably after this show. And I just felt like just really like kind of beat up and like by everything.
I think that it's so much pressure. Like I feel like by the time I got to the pro stage, I was already like mid-30s. I was like 35 and I'd already had a lot of experience on stage. So sometimes when I see like the girls that are like in the 20s and they're already doing so well, like my heart goes out for them. Like it's like such an emotional roller coaster. And to have so many people around you with good intent, but they're kind of pushing you on, and it must have felt a lot of like mental pressure.
Yeah. It was all around, spiritually, mentally, physically. You're always just pushed to your limits, even physically.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just pushed with cardio, with training, with dieting, and everything else that you have to do. And it was just a lot. And then after the Olympia this past year, I got married. That was like a big, huge life event. And after that, I was just like, whoa, just life. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because then you were getting ready for the Arnolds, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Was that this year? That was this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God! Like time is just going so fast. But you decided to pull out of it like a couple of weeks before, and I think that was an incredibly brave thing to do. I think you probably had to do a lot of soul searching to have come to that decision, because once you're in that zone where you're prepping for a competition, it's very easy for the ego to take over and kind of do it no matter what, because you just feel like people are going to be watching, what they're going to think, and it's kind of like you don't want to lose respect and all this kind of thing. What were you? Everything kind of went quiet as well after that on your social media. So I'm so interested, and I'm sure so many other people are interested to know what kind of happened. Why did you feel like you wanted to pull out? And then what's life been like since?
Yeah.
Big question.
Yeah. First of all, I love you because you are just perfectly hitting everything on the head. I'm like, yeah, exactly what happened. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
awesome
I've been following you, and I feel like some of the things that I'm guessing you've kind of been going through, perhaps I've been feeling some of the same things. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like maybe I'm kind of noticing some of the same things. So I'm interested to hear.
Yeah. So yes, I was getting ready for the Arnold, and I was doing it vegan, and I was so excited to do it vegan. And you guys, it was working.
Yeah.
I was getting leaner. My muscles were still popping. I was, everything was happening just like it normally would. And so I was taking that on, and I was like, oh, I want to do this for the vegans, and just like, even if I don't win, like just get on stage and get shredded and just shut everybody up and just show them that it can be done.
Yeah.
So that I was just like pushing it and like forcing it. And at that point, I was in this weird transition, and just now am I able and okay to talk, because I didn't even know like who I was or what I liked, or like it was like this world was combating with this side of myself, and I just didn't. So I stepped away, and I just needed to figure shit out. Like I didn't know what to say or how to say it, and I never ever wanted to badmouth the IFBB or the industry, because it wasn't about that. So I didn't want to have it come out like that.
Yeah.
But I really just had to figure out like who I was and what I wanted, because I looked at a couple pictures of myself, and I just saw just stress and just confusion.
Yeah.
And so
it's
so
like
I read.
It's like a whole. I can really, really identify with what you're saying, because it's like when you've done bodybuilding and competing for so long, it really does become part of your identity. But it's an identity that's been built from the outside. And maybe for some people, it's their true path, their true calling. But when you feel that conflict inside, and you can't sleep at night because you're worrying and wondering what you're doing, it is like a complete shift, and it's really unsettling, and it takes you a while to rebuild and figure out your identity. And like you say, you have to step away and strip everything away that you've built up over the last 10, 15, 20 years, and take some time to kind of, because there's a lot of noise around you, and you need to take some time to listen to like your inner voice to figure out who the hell you are. So I can completely understand where you're coming from.
Yes. 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I started when I was 19, and now I'm 28. So my 20s, me figuring out me was
bodybuilding.
It was, this is what I do, and I only shot for one thing.
Yeah.
And it was never the fame or the followers. It was never even like that. So the supplement things, I figured out that I'm like a really bad sponsored athlete. And I'm sorry to everybody who's ever sponsored me, but that's a big part of me, the shift that happened, because my social media and what became my fun and my connection to my people became a job.
Yeah.
And every time I opened up my phone to post, I hated it.
Yeah.
Like, because it wasn't what I wanted to do. And so, I kept getting sponsored because I you're eating and training so much that you really can't do anything else.
Yeah.
So thank God for sponsors. But it got to the point after this past Olympia where I was literally just doing it for a paycheck.
Yeah.
And I just, nothing about it I liked.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nothing against the companies. It's me, not you, but
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
But I wish I had never started getting sponsored.
Yeah. I think like it just slowly kind of kills you. You know, when you have to do something every day that's not really, you're not really behind it. You know, it's like, because really it's taking your energy away from other things that you could be doing that you would really feel fulfilled.
Yeah. And even like for the stage, like if you're getting ready for a show, they require posts and they require you to go places and be places, and you really just want to be at home looking at, just sweaty, eating your meals in your prep mode, and so I think that's where I started to really just shift, and I didn't even know it until I quit Redcon after the Olympia.
Mm-hmm.
And that was super hard because I'm like, how could you not want to be with this company? Like, what are you doing? And finally, after I did it, the relief was amazing. And it wasn't, and I lost money each month. So we like had to totally like flip our lives and move and switch jobs and everything.
Yeah.
So, but I felt like,
yeah, I think a lot of people could really benefit from just taking a bit of time to question what actually they want from life. And I know that when I decided to quit competing, I decided after my last show in March, I was just sat there one day with Giles and I was like, you know what, I'm done. And he was like, what? He was like so shocked. And I just realised that for maybe like the first 10 years of me competing, it was so important for me to win. It was so important for me to be the best. I really, really cared what people thought. Like, I wanted respect and I just wanted to be like the best. And then all of a sudden, I realised that I just didn't care about any of those things anymore. And then I was realising that's why the last 2-3 preps were so hard, because actually what I wanted was calm, freedom, and I wanted to just be fulfilled and happy and healthy. And I was just sitting there and I thought, you know what? Bodybuilding and competing doesn't give me any of those things anymore. So it made no sense to carry on doing it. But it's a big thing. It's a big thing to decide after doing it for so long.
I still haven't even said it out loud. It's still like I can't, like I'm like, oh no, I'm just like not about it right now. And like listening to you say it, it's so crazy because it's like the only thing I've ever known. And I feel like even by saying it, I would let a lot of people down who look up to me because I competed and because I helped them through their preps.
Yeah.
So the big part of me that's like, there's two parts of me. There's one that's like, no, you're not done, whatever, just, don't say it. And then there's another part of me that's like, just let it go.
Yeah.
Take what you got from it. Take your people, take your tribe, and just, it's noisy, and it's very noisy. And the feeling that I have right now is freedom.
Yeah.
And I haven't known that for so long. And I didn't even know I wasn't free until I got free.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. Bodybuilding gave me, it was my teacher.
You learn so much. Every little phase of your life is just as important as the next to take you, to your ultimate calling or whatever you want to call it. And I think maybe for you where you're at now, it's important to know, like, whatever decision you make, if you do decide that's it for bodybuilding, all it's going to do is give you more energy and time to put out positive energy to all those people that, have supported you, or every time you meet someone you're going to be able to give yourself more of yourself, because if bodybuilding and competing isn't really for you anymore, oh my God, it's so much energy to take and give, you know? So
Yeah.
really, you're freeing up yourself so that you can give much more. So yeah,
Yeah.
I would never ever feel bad for that, for sure.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. I do feel like I'm freeing up more of myself so I can, like, where I've been is like kind of like soul searching, like
Yeah.
figuring out what I want to do. Because when you're just so stuck in bodybuilding land, it's like that's all there is. And this is also something to think about, people who are listening and very stuck in bodybuilding. Like, I went and got my education. I have a master's in exercise physiology, and then I was bodybuilding forever. And I never thought about, what about like when I'm 45? Like, do I want to retire? Should I do investments? Like, what about my future? And so now coming out of bodybuilding, I was like, holy shit. Like, you're literally starting at nothing, because everything
Yeah.
you had, spent on your food, and the sponsor money that was
Yeah.
coming in was spent on food. It's just big wake up call.
Yeah, it really, really is. I really sort of realized, okay, I'm 36 and I have not saved any money whatsoever. And it's totally like starting. It's like you miss all those the years like in your 20s of sort of saving, putting money down for houses and whatever else.
Yeah.
It is a bit scary, but we've got life experience maybe to apply.
Yeah.
Was there like one particular moment then that you sort of really realised that you were not going to compete? Did you just sort of sit down with your husband, or?
I don't even know when the moment was that I like decided. Um, Probably like super recently, that I decided that I'm like, I just don't really want to go back to it right now. And I help a couple girls on the side, like pose and get ready. But I don't want to be them right now.
Yeah. It's so funny when you step away and you're like I can go to bodybuilding shows now and everyone will say to me, oh, are you feeling, do you wish that was you up there? And I go, no, not at all. Like, I'm so glad to be just sat in the audience eating whatever I want.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was like probably after I decided not to do the Arnold, I was like, if I ever do, compete again, whenever, in a year or two, whatever I was saying, I was like, I'm just going to do it vegan, and to really just give it a whirl and just try that. But now that I'm thinking about it and a little bit removed, I'm like, what do I need to prove? I don't know. There's less that I feel like I need to prove.
Yeah. Did you ever feel like, because when you decided to go vegan, was that like a combination of reasons? Was it like more on the side of wanting to be kinder to animals, or did you feel any sort of health problems or concerns from constantly eating so much meat, or a little bit of both?
Basically all of it.
Yeah.
So probably 12 weeks or so before this last Olympia, I was like really grossed out by meat, and couldn't eat chicken breast anymore, because it looked too much like a muscle.
Yeah.
Because I could, yeah. And so I was just eating ground turkey and egg whites. That's basically what I could like stomach. And I was like, AJ, can we just like switch like egg whites for tofu and like tempeh? And he was like, Dani, no, like not before the Olympia, whatever. So, but during that time, I had really come to understand, like, we are what we eat. And so a big thing for me was, before like the animals go to the slaughterhouse and get killed, like they know what's going to happen. So basically fight or flight is being released.
They release the hormone, don't they? Yeah.
Right. All the, the hormones, and then they die.
Yeah.
And everything is trapped in the body, and then we eat it. Right. Yeah. So essentially we're eating the blood, we're eating that. And so I was like, man, look at like society. I feel like even as a society, people are more scared, and just more in their fight or flight response.
Yeah.
That was one thing. Obviously, the health concerns, our own arteries.
Yeah.
And then, the big thing was animals.
Yeah.
I just really, in the last little bit, and maybe it had to do with going vegan, had this connection to animals and the earth, and just really being a peaceful human, and just not being violent to anything, even like working out and in the gym. I don't even really want to be super aggressive, and and it's that whole non-violent thing.
Yeah, I know. Because my brother used to do. He's a couple of years older than me, and he used to do. He was just like a normal young lad. He would we would go out partying together, and he'd be chasing girls and doing a bit of bodybuilding and stuff. And then he went away. He spent a lot of time in Japan, and he went to Peru and did an ayahuasca retreat. I've come for a session.
Okay.
How much is it?
Don't worry about it.
What's going on here? I'm not having this.
What's that? Amino Spark?
That's exactly what it is. Amino Spark.
Turn around and flex that back. We'll grow old, but we'll stay toned, and the gym will be there till the end. I'll never be pear-shaped. These racks won't lose their shape. Dumbbells are a girl's best friend.
The plant healing. And then he was just okay, I just want to do yoga. And now he doesn't even really do any resistance work because it's too much tension in the body, and he can't relax when he wants to meditate and do his yoga. Is this anything that you've kind of gone and looked into as well?
Okay, yes. Okay, so now the door's open.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're safe.
So this has been a big, huge interest of mine. Psychedelics.
Yeah.
So I did go to an ayahuasca ceremony. I didn't do it wasn't a full trip. I guess whatever medicine she had wasn't super strong. So we tripped a little bit. It was definitely psychedelic, but I don't think it was as powerful as what normally happens. But after that, I started to get really connected to, the earth, and it just makes you just very peaceful, and it makes you just really just only want to do good things for the greater good. Prior to that, when you said the moment that I decided I didn't really want to compete anymore.
Yeah.
That was also a psychedelic trip. I did mushrooms.
Yeah.
And so I had this vision at the end of it all, and it was everything. I was because I want to do it. I wanted to really, I felt like a little kid, and it was the first time that I was doing things because I wanted to do them, And so at the end of it, I had this vision of me and Ian taking a picture of ourselves in front of a big, huge mountain, like Mount Fuji or whatever. And I was I wanted to see things. And then my next thought was, man, I have to get up and do cardio in the morning. And I was I felt like I was not wasting on a stepper. I was spending a lot of my youth on a stepper inside. And there was trouble with that for a while because the stepper and bodybuilding gave me so much, and I achieved exactly what I wanted to and so much. But I just think that maybe going forward, maybe it's time for something else in my life.
Yeah. When it's right for you, it has its place. Bodybuilding is an incredible thing to experience, and you get so much growth out of it. But when it comes to the time that there's other things you should be doing, really bodybuilding is just a distraction from from growing further.
Yeah. It begins to not serve you
Yeah.
anymore. And
Yeah.
so my biggest fear, and something that the psychedelics have really helped me with, leaving bodybuilding, I wanted to stay connected to like my people. And I really was like, that was like my biggest thing, was like leaving that. But I feel like they've helped me like figure out who I am and how I want to speak and what I want to say and the vibe that I want to carry. And I need muscles and no body fat to carry anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I can still speak on this and be this person, you know, and spread the light, but it doesn't necessarily have to be through the lens of a gym.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just like when you know, because for so long you build your self-worth up from the way you look, and you get so much positive affirmation when you're in shape. People want to hear what you've got to say when you're in shape. All of a sudden people stop and listen. So it can take a little bit of time to realize that actually you have got more to offer, and you can still change people's lives even more so when you kind of know that it's not just from the body.
Yeah.
You know, and I think like it's so obvious for everyone that's followed you. You've got such a big energy. You're just like such a big bundle of fun and always positive, and yeah, like I'm so excited for this next phase of your life.
Thank you.
And you look so healthy and so happy. Amazing. So can you tell us, like, now, so compared to like when you were getting ready for bodybuilding shows, you had your sponsors, you were posting a lot on social media, have to go to different fitness events, cardio in the morning, training. What is your week like now? What's like a typical day now compared to that?
Well, it's a lot more low key. So basically, I like a lot more low key. Like I go to the apartment complex gym. Okay.
Yeah.
But we have totally like switched our jobs. Like Ian left his job, I left mine basically, and we're selling health insurance.
Did Ian have a similar sort of shift as well with his life?
Yeah, he has actually. So he was like doing like software engineering, and everything was very good, very comfortable, but we always kind of like wanted more. And when you're in a 9 to 5, it's very hard to go to work, come home, and then work on your extra stuff at home. So basically nothing's going to change if nothing changes. So we both just quit our shit and we went to go work with one of our best friends. And so now we're going to sell health insurance for a little bit. Basically just build up, a really good money, like nest egg, so we can do other things. Like Ian wants to start a video business and actually start like doing weddings and filming it and things like that.
Wow.
And travel videos, and I want to get an RV and travel the country and like vlog the shit out of it, and just like see everything. And that job, as much as it's selling health insurance, can give us that. And I've never really thought about like what I want to do, but this new connection to nature has given me the idea
to get out there. You just have to get out there. It's like if you just sat doing the same thing, or like going to the same job every day, going to the same gym every day, you're really going to just keep meeting the same people. You're going to have the same experience every day. If you just go somewhere different one day, it's like the world opens up.
Yeah, and so my daily routine, I wake up, we basically go to work and come home, walk the dogs. And I really like yoga lately. We go on walks. I like yoga. Sometimes I go to a spin class and a yoga class after. But it's a lot more peaceful. Like we definitely work a lot, but there's so much less noise and there's so much less pressure.
It's hard to explain like maybe to some people what the noise means, but it's just like, if you ever manage to connect to your soul, your true self, inner voice, whatever you want to call it, then you realize like all this other stuff is noise, and it can form in like anxiety and things like that. But talking about that, you spend a lot of time going walking and yoga and stuff. I'll open up a little bit here. People probably think I'm crazy, but hey, whenever I go out into nature, or the other day I went to a very, very quiet meditation style yoga class, and I always cry. I always start to cry, and I'm not sad, but it is just simply because it's the only time I'm actually connected to myself, because I'm quiet and I'm away from work, I'm away from social media. And I could just be like walking outside crying, and it's just like release all the kind of trauma and negative energy. So I your day sounds like my bliss, just going walking the dogs and going to yoga.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds so nice. But basically we go to a cube. So when we come home and walk the dogs and go to yoga, that's like like you said, like it's like your spirit time. It's like you and you. Yes. Oh, that's beautiful that you cry. I think that's awesome. Yeah. So
I think people would think I'm crazy.
No,
but
until they do
it's really important to kind of find that way of releasing and connecting to yourself.
That's where the dreads came from.
Yeah.
Spirit self. I met my spirit self, and
was this on with the ayahuasca?
This was actually a mushroom trip.
Mushrooms, yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't
for anyone else that doesn't know much about like the psychedelic or the plant healing or anything. Maybe when they first hear about it, it sounds a bit like wacko or whatever. But I would really say, like, I'm not telling anyone to go and do it, but I would really say like research, and there's some amazing. I mean, I know because of seeing how my brother has blossomed as a person, and the way that it unlocked his intellect. Like, my God, the way that he can articulate himself now and like connect to people is like incredible. So
they're medicines. They're plant medicines is how I look at all of those. So even like there's like shamanism that goes on with magic mushrooms, just like there is with ayahuasca or these, different things.
Yeah, there's different ways of doing it, like not just at like a house party drinking vodka,
It's honestly, I've done it like that, but it's almost disrespectful now.
Yeah,
because I've had such beautiful divine experiences.
And this is when people can get like bad trips when they're not kind of prepared, they haven't fasted and stuff before. So
yes, and it's like it's totally like a whole mental thing. Like I almost always go into something like that with an intention. After what it gave me the first time I did it, I always go in very intentional and respectful. Yeah. So then I met Spirit Self, and then she had dreads.
Yeah.
And I found my courage again, and I didn't know I lost it until I found it. And a lot of courage I got from bodybuilding and that identity. And I was just kind of going through life and not knowing my last name changed. Like, I'm all screwed up. I don't even know, I'm eating differently. So when I had the encounter with Spirit Self, I met me. I met the fulfillment that everybody kind of chases. And it's so crazy. You don't know that you don't have it until you find it. And once you find it, you just feel like no matter where you are, there you are.
Yeah. And I think it's one of the reasons why we chase all these other things. Like, because did you have a bit of a party past as well? You were a bit of a party girl for a while, weren't you? Because I had like 10 years of just crazy, crazy time. But I think this is another reason why people chase things like that, and why you get so into bodybuilding, and because you're really just trying to find things like your courage and that peace and stuff. So So yeah, it's just like interesting as you kind of move through life, and then you can have these incredible experiences with the plants and reconnect to nature, reconnect to yourself. It's incredible. Like personally, I've never done any of the mushrooms or the plants, but I'm so interested in.
Oh, I wish I could come do them with you. I'd bring someone, we could sit and like.
I keep on talking to my brother about it, and he's like, because I think he wants to put me through maybe my first mushroom ceremony or something, and he's like, oh, I think let's wait a little bit. He wants me to wait a little bit.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I think he can see. He looks at me and he thinks I already have quite a good grasp on a lot of things.
Yes.
So I think maybe from the point of view of someone that's done it, he can see maybe there's some things that I need to do first, maybe before I delve in. I don't know. Anyway, I'll listen to
and see, once you do it, you understand, like, okay, you just, a couple things need to be taken care of so you can fully, experience that. If you have anything else, you don't want it to be blocked to what it's really gonna heal you.
Yeah.
It's like heal. There's this song that I'm like in love with, and it's Spanish, and I just learned the whole thing in Spanish.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to learn Spanish now and play an instrument. I want to learn how to play the flute.
Really, this is what I mean. It can unlock intelligence. I don't know how it does it, but maybe it's like blockages in the body, in the cells or whatever. I don't know. But it really can unlock all these different gifts and different levels of intelligence that we just don't use. We're kind of like running on this level. And I mean, even for me, one of my big things is being able to talk in public. I feel like there's a real block there. So for me, I would love to do the plants for this reason, because I would really like to help as many people as I can to have better lives. And I think it's important to be able to articulate yourself really well. That's definitely something that I would like to get from the plants.
That's awesome.
To just be able to speak a bit more free, a bit more
without
stopping and thinking, what's that word? Or without, maybe I'm thinking too much when I'm talking and it's not coming from the heart because I'm worrying. I don't know. Yeah.
So when I would talk on YouTube all the time, something that would help me when I would speak is to think about, like you said, the help that you're going to be giving to people, or the love part of it. If you get too much in your fear brain about why you shouldn't be public speaking, then the love won't come out as good.
Just kind of worrying what people are going to be thinking. Are you going to say something that's wrong? Or there's a guy in the UK called Mark Cole, and he's a really, really very good coach and personal trainer, and he does all these big seminars and stuff. And he put a post up recently saying he used to be worried about his posts all the time, and then he decided to only care about his target audience, so the people that he wanted to help.
Yes.
And as soon as he only worried about them, all of a sudden he never got any sort of worry about what he was posting or anything like that. And that really like hit home, actually. Instead of like thinking about your peers and things like that, you think about the actual, people that are just getting into training and they really want to absorb all this knowledge that you've got.
Yeah. And then love and fear can't exist in the same plane, So almost like a Jedi, like light side, dark side.
Yeah. Step over to the light side.
Yes. Yeah, no, you're an amazing speaker already. I mean, this is kind of public, right? A little bit.
Yeah, I'm getting better. And actually, one of the ways that I did get better, because I used to try and speak posher. When I would like do things for video or whatever, I would try and speak a bit posher, and it wasn't my flow. It wasn't natural to me. So I just started speaking with my normal Leeds Yorkshire accent. I would swear if I want to swear, because that's kind of like it's part of what makes me comfortable when I speak. And yeah, so just got like, I found that completely being myself was the only way that I could speak when I do videos and stuff, rather than trying to be like a character or something.
And that's what people love. They will love to see authentic you versus you trying to be somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, people like, it's like attractive to another self.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
self.
Yeah. So do you think you will ever do a little bit more on social media? Like you say, you're going to maybe do the blogging, but with like traveling and stuff.
Yeah, I want to, I definitely want to get back on social media.
Yay!
I've just, and I feel like a part of me is missing. And like, sometimes when I look at videos of myself speaking to the camera, and I'm like, God, and it's crazy because I almost like check out. Like sometimes I don't even remember what I just said. I'm like, did that come out okay? But it's almost like that feeling where you just plug in and you just talk to people. And I miss that. And it's taken me a while to figure out the courage or without bodybuilding. Because if you look at all my videos, I really am comfortable doing videos when I'm shredded and just jacked out of my mind, ready for a show. So it's taken me a while to figure out that confidence without all of that. Coming through what I have to say and the stuff that I've been soul searching about. So yeah, I want to like do it right now. It's very soon. And I haven't even made a post on Instagram because I know that once I post, I want it to be an all the time thing because I want to do it because nobody can sponsor me now. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't want
I'm so excited to hear that. I think it's been important for you to take that step back, like to get to where you are now. But I think you're going to be able to bring so much more to people's lives now. All those people that are following you, you know, I think they're going to get a lot of uplifting energy and inspiration from just kind of finding yourself and being so free and happy. It's incredible to see. It's really incredible.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm gonna let you head off, but before we go, is there anything you want to say or anything you want to mention before we shut down?
I want to thank you. For having.
My pleasure. I'm so I feel very, very lucky to have had you come on today.
It's so funny because I was waiting this was a bunch of things for me. And so even talking to you, it was even better just because you get what I've been going through. So this turned out better than I could have ever hoped. And I thank you so much for having me. And you. My tribe, the people who are watching, I love you all. And I will be back very soon. And then also I know the Olympia is like right around the corner. And I just want to tell you girls that I will be thinking of you. I'll be watching, and I'm so happy for you guys that you are doing what you're doing. And just remember that there are little girls looking up to you every day on that stage. So you're not just a body, you're a role model. And just remember that.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dani. I'm really, really looking forward to following the rest of your journey, this new phase of your life. Really, really touched and inspired by you. So just thank you for your time and your beautiful energy tonight.
Thank you too. Thank you.